Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. So today in this video we are going to discuss about retrofit. What is retrofit and how to use retrofit to integrate the third-party APIs in Spring Boot application. So we are going to discuss API integration using retrofit in Spring Boot. Okay. So in the previous video, I have showed you how to integrate the third-party API using the REST template. Here you can see this is the video. So you can go and watch it out. And in this video, we are going to use the retrofit to integrate the third party applications, third party APIs. Okay. So this is about the introduction of the video. So let's get started for that. So I already have created one Spring Boot application, which is nothing but it's a Spring Boot CRUD application. And here I have developed basic CRUD APIs. Okay. So these APIs we are going to consume or integrate in the Spring Boot application that I'm going to develop using Retrofit. Okay, so this is what I just want to show you. So let me try to run this application and try to show you what all the APIs we have developed and what data they are showing us. So this is nothing but this is a Spring Boot CRUD application where we are managing the products. Okay, and I will provide the link of this code base in the video description so you can access it out. Basically you can go to the git and then there you can clone this git repository and then you can directly run this application on your local doing some basic configuration. I will tell you what all the configuration that you need to do, and then you can start integrating these APIs using retrofit in the application that we are going to develop. So this is about the application. So this application is up and running, and let me try to first of all let me try to walk you through the controller. Okay, so here is the controller, which is product controller, and here we have developed this. You can see this is the REST controller and request mapping. This is the class level mapping that we have defined, and then we have others methods or others APIs that uh, are fulfilling the CRUD operations. Okay, so you can see this is a get all method or find all API, which is finding the list of all the products from the DB. Similarly, we have the insert API, we have the find by ID API, we have the update by ID, and we have delete by ID API. And one additional API I have, which is find by name. Okay, so everything we have covered here in this application. So let me try to show you by hitting these APIs. So this application is up and running, and sorry, before going to hit these APIs, let me try to show you about the application.properties. So here you can see I'm using the MySQL database, and I have provided the URL for that. This is the database that I have created in my MySQL, username and password, and then this some additional Hibernate configuration. And here this is the port number on which this application will be up and running, which is 9000. Coming to the pom.xml, you can see we are using Java 17, and we have the JPA, we have web, we have MySQL, and we have Lombok. So these four basic starter dependency we have. So this is about this application. I will provide the link of GitHub of this application, and you can go there and directly clone it out and then do the configuration in the application properties file according to yours, and then try to make it up and running and then start integrating these APIs in the upcoming application that we are going to develop. Okay, so this is about this. Now let me try to go to the Postman, and here I have already uh, created the request or APIs, you can say, to hit those APIs. So to save your times, okay, so you can see this is the find all API that we are going to hit. So if you'll go to the application and if you'll see, go to the controller, if you'll see this, the class level mapping is API products, and if you want to hit this find all API to get all the products from the DB, then you have to hit the find all. So if you'll go down, you can see this application is locally up on the port number 9000. So if you'll come to the Postman, here you can see the URL is http localhost 9000, and then the class level mapping, which is API products, and then find all. Now let me try to hit it. And here we go. You can see we have the list of products here in the response. So total we have the 7 products in our DB. Now let me try to hit the find by ID API. So let's say we are going to find the product one. Okay, so let me try to find it. So you can see the product one is coming, which is study lamp. Now if you want to find by the name, then you can pass the name as a request parameter, and then the URL for the find by name is find by name. Then you have to pass the name of the product by as a request parameter. Okay, now let me try to send it, and here we go. You can see the study lamp is coming. Now come to the insert. Let me try to insert one more record or one more product in the DB. So let's say the product ID is 8, name is glass, price is 1000, quantity is 1. Now let me try to insert it. So here we go, it is inserted, and you can see the status is 200. Okay, so this is inserted. If you want to find it out, like, then you can go to this API, which is find by ID. Let me try to go there, and let me try to find the product ID 8, which we have inserted as of now. So if you'll hit it, you can see the glass is coming here. So post API is also working fine. If you want to update this API, so you can come to the update. Let's say you want to update the newly inserted product, and let's say you want to make the price as 2000. So if you can hit it, and this is updated. Again, you can go to the find by ID, and if you want to check it, just check it. You can see the price is updated to 2000. Now if you want to delete it, directly go to the delete API, which is this, and then provide the ID of the product and then delete it. So it is deleted. If you'll go to the find by ID and hit it, this time it won't come anything. You can see 500. So all the APIs in the Swagger, sorry, in this is the application name. So it is Spring Boot Swagger integration demo. In the previous video, one of my previous video, I have covered these APIs, and I have covered how to integrate the Swagger in Spring Boot. So there, from there, I am taking this application. So it's already there on my GitHub, but I will provide the link of the GitHub repository in this video description, so that you can go there and check it out and clone it, and then make some configuration according to you, and then start using it. So this is about this existing application, where these APIs we are going to integrate in our upcoming application that we are going to develop using the retrofit. Okay, so let's get started for that. Now let me try to go to the file, and here let me try to create a new project, and let's say the project name is retrofit, or API integration using retrofit. API integration using retrofit in Spring Boot. Okay, now let me try to select this Maven, and all are good. Go next, and here we need Spring Web and retrofit. So retrofit would not be there in this Spring started Spring. So I will try to go to the Maven and include that. So I will tell you what we need. So Spring Web, and then we need Lombok. So here we are not going to use any database. Okay, so this two dependency is fine, and from external Maven repository we'll try to add the dependency related to the retrofit. So you can see this is started loading the project, and it will try to download the starter dependency that we have added here. So let it be done, and let me try to go to the browser and try to search for the retrofit dependency. So let's say Maven retrofit. We need two dependency related to the retrofit. One is retrofit and another is retrofit converterization. So let me try to include it. So you can see the latest version is 2.9.0. So you can go there and copy this whole dependency, and come here to the IntelliJ, go to the pom.xml, and let me try to go down, come here to the dependency section, and then paste it here. Now we need one more dependency, which is retrofit. So let me try to search for that. Retrofit Maven, go to this, and go there. This is retrofit. You can see I will show you what all the dependency we have included. So this is JSON converter JSON, which is coming from the retrofit itself, and the second one is a retrofit which is coming from the retrofit too. Okay, so this these are the external dependency that you need in order to use the retrofit. Now let me try to do a Maven run so that this dependency that we have added can be downloaded and we can use it. So this is about the starting or creating the application. Now we are good. Okay, so let me try to go to the source and go to the main, go to the Java, and here we need to do couple of configurations so that we can start using the retrofit. Okay, so let me try to create the packages for that and try to show you what all the configuration that we need in order to start using the retrofit. Okay, so first of all, what is the base URL for the existing applications APIs? Okay, let me try to show you. So if you'll go to the Postman and come here to the find all first. So here you can see the base URL is localhost 9000 API products. If you'll go to find by ID, same you will find the base URL is same. Now if you'll go to the find by name, you can say the base URL is same. So we have to somewhere we have to define the base URL, and after that we need to do the configuration. Okay, for the retrofit. So let me try to create a package for the constant, and then we'll try to do the other things. So go to the IntelliJ, and here let me try to create that. So let's say retrofit, or yeah, let's say retrofit constant dot. Let's say we are going to create the retrofit constant class where we'll define the base URL. Okay, retrofit constant. Okay, just do it. So we are good. Now here let me try to create a variable public static final string where we'll try to, let's say its name is base underscore URL, and let's say it is HTTP. Let me try to go to the Postman and try to copy it. So either you can keep it like this, or till the base URL you can keep it. Let me try to put it like this till the port number, and let it be like this. And now let me try to create one more package where we'll try to do the configuration related to the retrofit. So let's say it is util, and I need to create one class here. Let's say retrofit util or retrofit configuration, something like that you can do. Okay, let's say retrofit util. Okay, so we have created this class as well. Now we need to do the configuration here. Okay, so let me try to do that. So first of all, we need to create a retrofit instance. Okay, so let's say private static retrofit. So make sure when you are importing the retrofit, it is coming from retrofit 2. Okay, now retrofit, and let's say it is null as of now. Now we'll create one method which will be returning the retrofit for us. Okay, so public static, let's say, and it is of type retrofit, and let's say get retrofit. Okay, now we'll check if the retrofit which is defined above is equal to null. Then we need to create the instance of the retrofit and assign to this reference that we have created above. Okay, so we have to do retrofit is equal to new retrofit dot, let me try to do builder, and sorry, let me try to create this retrofit dot builder, and here you can pass the base URL. Okay, so let me try to pass the base URL here, and this base URL we have defined here in the retrofit constant. So directly with this help of this class name, because this variable is static, so we can access this variable with the class name. So let me try to copy the class name, come here to the base URL, and then just call the base URL here. So we are good. Now we need to define the converter factory, okay, which is the JSON converter that we have included. Okay, so let me try to define that as well. So come down dot, let's say add converter factory, and here we need to provide the JSON converter. Okay, so JSON converter factory dot create, and now we have to build it. So let me try to build it. Okay, so we are good now. We did this inside this, and we have the configuration ready for the retrofit in the reference, this reference which is retrofit. Now let me try to return it out of this method. So return retrofit, and we are good now. So what this method will do, this method will try to return one retrofit instance which is having the configuration ready, like which is having the base URL and which is having the return type which is a JSON converter factory. So everything is here. That means configuration is done. Now what we need to do, we need to create couple of services, and how we write the service layer. Similarly, we have to write the service layer here as well, but we have to additionally write one interface where we can define, or where we can call the this already provided APIs that we are going to integrate. Okay, so that interface will contain all the list of APIs that we are going to call. Okay, and that we are going to call using the retrofit. So I will try to show you how you can write those things. So let me try to do that first. So come here and create a, let's say, retrofit. Let's say it is third party interface dot, let's say the name of this interface would be retrofit APIs, something like that. Okay, let me try to create one interface here, and yeah, this is good. Now what we need to do, we need to create the methods here which will be calling the API that we are going to integrate using retrofit. Okay, so these APIs we are going to call here in this interface. Okay, so let me try to do that. So let's say first of all we are going to call the uh, get API, which is finding the list of products, which is this API, the first one. Okay, so let's say we are going to call this API first. So go to the application, let's say get, make sure that this get is coming from the retrofit. Okay, so include it, and here we need to provide the value. In the value we have to provide the URL that we are going to call. So you can see in the retrofit constant, the base URL is still port number, and that is what we included in the retrofit configuration. Okay, so we have the base URL. Now here we need to provide the additional URL that is uh, making the whole URL complete. Okay, so if we'll go there, so you can see the base URL, let's say base URL we have defined is till 9000, then we have to provide the API products slash find all. So let me try to copy this and go to the application, and let's say the value is this. Okay, and now we have to create one method. So here we need to call, use the call which is coming from the retrofit, and in the call you have to provide the return type of this method. So let's say this application is returning the list of products. Okay, so we need to return that list of product. As of now we don't have any entity called product, but either you can use a list of map, because this product is also a JSON, right? If you go to the postman here, you can see this product is also working like a JSON. If you look into it, we have the key value pairs. That means we can use this product, or we can contain this product in a map. Okay, so either you can use map here for the general purpose, or else you can create one product entity here. So let me try to create one entity first, and then we'll try to call this method. So create one package, let's say entity, and here we need to create the product. So create one class called product, and if you'll go to the existing API or existing application, you will find this entity here, which is product. And in product we have four attributes, which is ID, name, price, and the quantity. So copy it from here and go to the application and paste it here. And what else we need? We need the constructors and the getter and setter. So for that, let me try to use all argument constructor, no argument constructor, and data. Okay, so that we can access this product. Now we are good, and here let me try to import the product. Okay, import the list as well. So we are done. Now let's say the method name is get all products. Okay, something like that, and then that all. So what is happening is this API is calling the existing APIs. Okay, that means we are integrating these APIs using the retrofit here. Now we are just going to call this get all products API in the uh, service layer that we are going to develop now, and then later on that service layer method will be called in the controller. Okay, so this is the flow. Okay, so let me try to create a package here. Let's say we are going to create a package called service, and let's say this time we are first of all we are creating the interface, which is product service. Okay, and here let me try to create one method which will be returning the list of product. Okay, and let's say its name is get all products, and then we'll create one class which will be implementing this product service interface. Okay, so okay, this is a class. Let me try to change it to interface. So we are good now. So let me try to create one package again here. Let's say the package name is impl dot, like, the package name is impl, and then we are creating the class called product service impl, which will be implementing all the method inside the product service interface. Okay, so product service impl. Now we are good. Let me try to implement the product service here, and let me try to import the product service first of all. So yeah, we have implemented it. Now if you'll see here, we are getting one error. If you click on it, here you will find the error. So error is you have to implement the unimplemented method. So just implement it. As of now, we have only one method, which is get all products. So we have implemented it here. Now we have to do the real implementation. Okay, so we by using the retrofit, we need to call the retrofit API that we have developed here. Okay, and for the this API, retrofit API is going to call the above API. Okay, and then we'll return something which will be contained here, and then this will return something which we are going to call in the controller that we are going to develop. Okay, so this is the flow. So here we are good. Now let me try to do the implementation for it. So what we need to do, first of all, what we are going to use. Okay, so in this method we are going to use the retrofit, and to call this APIs we are going to use the retrofit API as well. So let me try to create the reference for this too. Okay, and like we are not going to use the auto wire here, we are going to create a constructor, and there we'll try to integrate those instance. Okay, so we need the instance of two things. One is the retrofit, and second is the retrofit API interface that we have created here. Okay, so that we can call it. So let me try to go to the implementation class, and let's say private and retrofit. Let's say its name is retrofit. Let me try to import the retrofit here in this class. Make sure you are importing the correct retrofit. Okay, now let me try to create an instance for the retrofit API interface that we have created. Okay, and here let me try to create the constructor. So copy this and then we'll try to let it be public, and let me try to initialize this constructor. So retrofit equal to uh, we are going to call the retrofit from the retrofit util. Okay, if you'll go there where it is retrofit util, here we have created one method get retrofit which is returning the retrofit, and in this retrofit we have initialized the base URL and as well as the JSON converter factory. Okay, so we are going to call this method, and if we'll go there to the implementation, let's say retrofit. Okay, so the class name is retrofit util dot get retrofit. So this will return the instance that we have initialized there, that we have configured there, and finally we are assigning that to the reference that we have created above. Now let me try to assign the value to this retrofit API. Okay, so let's say retrofit dot create, and here we need to pass the interface name. Okay, so this interface that we have created, which is retrofit API, so we have to pass that. So retrofit API dot class. Okay, so basically what is happening is we have created these two instances. One is for the retrofit, one is for the retrofit API. So in the retrofit, we are calling the get retrofit method, which we have created inside the retrofit util, where we have defined the configuration. We have added the base URL and we have defined the converter JSON. So these values are assigned here, and here in the retrofit API reference that we have created, which is the reference of the interface that we have created, where we have defined the method which will be calling the third party API. Okay, so we are assigning like we are using this retrofit to create a instance of this retrofit interface and then assigning it to the reference that we have created above. Okay, and this is about that. Now here is the method that we are going to implement. Okay, so we have did this configuration, we have created the constructor and we have assigned these values to this constructor. Now we can use it. So let me try to go to this method and try to create try to implement the things here. So this method will be returning the list of product. Okay, so let me try to create one array list. Okay, so empty array list which will be containing the list of product. Okay, so let's say product, and let's say it is something like product response, or yeah, let's say product response equal to new array list. Okay, let me try to import the array list here. Let me try to make it capital. Okay, so we are good. We have created one list which will be containing the list of product, and let me try to remove the product here. Now first of all, what we'll do, we'll try to fetch the method that we have created inside the retrofit API. So inside this retrofit API, we have created this get all product method. So let me try to call that method inside this implementation. So using what we can call using this reference that we have created above. So copy this retrofit API reference, and let me try to call the get all products here. And if you'll go there to this get all products, you can see it is calling the list of, like, return type is list of product. Okay, so let me try to go there to the implementation and contain this whole response in a list of product. Okay, so let's say it is response equal to this. So we have created one empty array list, and here we have created one response. Let me respond, which is holding the response which is coming from the get all products method, which is inside the retrofit API. And this get all product method is directly calling the third party API. Okay. So this is being called, it is fetching out the list of product. It is going there to this implementation, and inside this reference, which is response, we are just storing that. Okay. So we have the response now. Now what we'll do some validation here. Okay. So before going to do the validation, we need to execute the uh, response here. Okay, so let me try to do that. So dot execute, and this is giving some error. We need to wrap this within the try and catch. Okay, so you can see this giving the IO exception. We need to surround this with try and catch. Okay, so we are good. And once we'll execute it, we need some variables to hold the response which is coming after the execution. Okay, so let's say I've created one response, and let's say it is returning the list of product. Let me try to import the response here, which is coming from the retrofit. So make sure everything is coming from the retrofit. Okay, so let's say this response name is final response, something like that. Okay, now we'll validate this final response if it is empty or not. So final response dot is successful, and it is successful, and we'll also check for the null. Okay, so final response dot body, it should not be equal to null. Okay, so this is the final response. We are checking if it is successful, and the second thing what we are checking is if the response body is not null. Okay, so now what we need to do, if it is not null, then above here we have created one array list which is product response. Then we have to assign the value to this product response. So let's say final response dot get body, and why we are getting this error here. Let me try to see what is the error. Okay, something is missing here. Okay, it is good. Final response is successful, and body not equal to null. Then what is missing? Everything look good to me. Let me try to return here, and then we'll see what is missing here. So we have put it in the try, we have the catch, and this is the method where we are returning the list of product. So let me try to return the product response here. Okay, so we are good. So okay, and operator cannot be applied to the boolean, and response final response is successful, and let me try to remove this null thing and then see. Okay, so it is good. Okay, so I think it is good. Again, let me try to see if I can include this null thing and or not. So final response dot body should not be equal to null. Okay, so this time it is working. I don't know why it was not working previously. So we are good now. So what we are doing, let me try to show you the whole flow. First of all, we have created one array list. Then we are calling the get all product method from the retrofit interface that we have created. Okay, if we'll go there, you can see this. And this is finally calling the third party API. So we are calling them and we are storing it in the response. Then we are executing that response. This is giving one additional response which we are holding inside the response, which is list of product. And when we have the final response, we are checking for if it is successful and its body should not be equal to null. After that, what we are doing, we are just fetching out the body out of the final response, assigning it to the above list that we have created, and then returning it. That's all. Now we have implemented this method. Now let me try to go here and create one controller. So this time, let me try to create the controller package first. And let me try to create one call, sorry, class here, which is, let's say, a product controller. And this class, let me try to annotate with at the rate rest controller, at the rate request mapping. And let's say we have some mapping here. Let's say the mapping is retrofit slash API, or you can say API slash retrofit. Okay, so we have API slash retrofit as a class level mapping. Now let me try to create one get mapping here. So get mapping, and let's say it is find all. Okay, and what it is doing, it is calling the method which we have implemented inside the product service implementation, and it is returning the list of product. So product, and let's say get all products. Let me try to import this, and if we'll go there to the product service implementation, let me try to auto add this with at the rate, sorry, we have to annotate this class with at the rate service, so that its object can be created and assigned to the application context, so that we can use its reference. So go to the product controller, and let me try to create a reference of the, or let me try to auto add the reference for this product service. Okay, so private product service. Okay, let me try to import this. So either you can use at the rate service annotation here, or you can come here to the product service, and here also you can use. So let me try to put it here as well, and we have auto add it. Okay, so what is the error we are getting? Okay, so here it is. So what we did, we have auto add the product service interface reference here, and once its object will be created, we can call the method inside the product service implementation, which is get all products. Okay, so go to the controller, and using this reference, I'm just directly going to call the get all products method, and then we are returning it simply. So it is returning the list of product, and this method is also returning the list of product, so we are good. Now our APIs are up good, like we have did the whole development for the one API. So let me try to give you the whole flow first. Okay, so let's say we starting from the controller. Okay, so we have created this controller, and the class level mapping is API slash retrofit. We have one method or API which is get API, which is finding the list of product. Now if we'll go to the get all products from the service method, if we'll go to its implementation, what it is doing, it is calling the get all product from the retrofit, which is further calling the third party API. Okay, and if we'll go back, once it is calling, doing some validation, returning it, and then if we'll go there to the controller, you can see we are having the list of products. Okay, and let me try to run this application and then try to hit this API. Okay, so if everything is working fine, this API will return us the list of products. So here you can see we are not using any database and anything. So what is the problem here? Okay, so some bean configuration is missing. I think I have did something wrong. So let me try to go to the product service and let me try to use this annotation here in the product service implementation class. Okay, so put it here. Let me try to rerun this. So I think we are up and running. So our application is up on the port number 8080, and let me try to go to the postman and try to hit this API. Okay, so I have created one folder here where we'll try to put all the retrofit related APIs. So let's say it is retrofit, and here you can see, let me try to add one request here. Okay, so let's say okay, so I already have one request. Let me try to create the URL here. So it is HTTP localhost 8080 on which our application is up, and then the class level mapping was let me try to go there, go to the controller, and here you can see the class level mapping is API slash retrofit. Copy this, come here to the postman, paste it here. Let me try to remove this additional one, and then we have the find all. I think, yeah, let me try to cross check it. So you can see this find all. So when we are going to hit this API, the class level mapping is API retrofit and then find all. So go to the postman and put it find all here. So everything is good. Make sure that your existing application, which is containing the list of all the APIs that you are consuming in the retrofit application, is up and running. So you can see this is up and running, and let me try to go there to the retrofit API. You can see this application is also up and running. Now go to the postman. This is the API that we have created. Hit it, and you can see we are getting the result. We are getting the list of all products. Okay, so you can see this. Let's say find all. Okay, so this is working fine. That means we have integrated the find all API using the retrofit successfully. Okay, now let me try to integrate all others APIs, which is find by ID. If you want to, like, let me try to skip the find by ID and find by name. Let me try to jump to the post, put, and delete APIs, because these are all the get APIs. I just want to cover all the four APIs methods like get, put, post, and delete. Okay, so let me try to cover the post, put, and delete APIs now. So if you'll go there to the IntelliJ, this API is working fine. You have the idea of how the flow is. Now directly let me try to jump here and create one post API first of all. So paste it here. Let's say it is post API, and let's say it is insert, and let's say insert product, something like that. And here we need to create one method first for the inserting. So just copy this, paste it here, And if you'll go to the existing application, here you can see, you can verify how the APIs are looking and what their return type are. So the first API was returning the list of products. Second, which is insert, is what it is doing. It is inserting your product that you are sending as a payload into the DB and then returning it. Okay. Similarly, if you'll see, the find by ID also returning this product, and update is also returning the product that you are updating. If you'll go to the delete, it is also returning you the same product which you are going to delete or which you have deleted. So this is how the return type of the existing APIs are. So let me try to go to the retrofit application, and here you can see we are going to create the method for insert. So insert is returning the product, okay, which we are going to insert, and its argument is we have to provide the product as a argument. So this argument will be finally sent by the payload from the client, okay. So we are good here. Now let me try to go to the implementation class, and let me try to implement this method here. So if we'll come here, implement method, which is insert method. Okay, so we are good. And here we have to do the implementation. So how we did the implementation for this get all products, we need to do the similar way. So let me try to copy the whole thing and paste it here, and we'll try to change it according to our uh, response or return type. So let's say this time it is returning the list of sorry, this is returning the product that we are going to insert. So let's say I am creating one product reference, okay, and let's say it is null. And this time what we are going to do, we are going to call the insert product method, which I'm going to create inside the product sorry, retrofit interface. So go to the retrofit interface, copy this whole thing, and this time we are going to create one method which will be calling product, and let's say it is insert product. And what is the API? If we'll go to the postman, for the insert, the API is a base URL and then insert. So the base URL is till 9000 only, so we have the API slash product slash insert. So we have to do that. So let me try to remove the in find all and put it insert here, okay. So we are good now. We have created the method, and this method is insert product, and the URL is API slash product slash insert, and this is of post type. So make sure you put it as a post type, okay. And this port would be coming from the retrofit itself. Now in the insert product method, we need to pass the payload, okay. So here you can use the annotation body which is coming from the retrofit, and you have to pass the product reference which we are going to insert into the DB, okay. So we have created this product insert product method. So what it is doing, whatever payload is coming here, it is going to this API and inserting it into the DB, okay. Now if we'll go there to the product service, let me try to call this method here, which is insert product, and pass the product reference, okay. Here it is, and its return type would be product, okay. So we have the response, and now let me try to remove this, and we have the final response also, and we are checking the final response. If it is successful and its body is not null, then we are assigning this response to the product response above, and then we are returning the product response, okay. So everything is good, and let me try to go to the product controller, and let me try to call the insert method here, and this is the REST API. So we need to pass the request body, and in the request body we need to pass the product payload that we are going to insert. Here let me try to pass the product, and its return type would be product, not a list of product. So let me try to change it as well. So everything is good. Let me try to give you the whole flow how it is. So this API is going to call the insert method, and if you'll go to its implementation, it is calling the retrofit API insert product method, and the retrofit API insert product method is directly calling the insert API of the existing application. Okay, once everything is done, we are getting the response, and we are uh, holding this response, and then we are executing it. Finally, we are getting the final response, checking some null thing, and if it is successful or not, and then returning back, assigning this to the reference that created above, and then returning back. So everything is good. Now let me try to rerun this application and try to hit the API. So if you'll go to the product controller, and this is the API retrofit slash insert. So this application is up and running. Go to the Postman, and here inside this folder, let me try to create one more request. Okay, so let me try to duplicate this find all, and let me try to make it to the post. Let me try to save it first. Nothing is coming. And copy this URL. Go to this, and let me try to make it like insert. Name it insert. Okay, now paste it here, and we have the insert. Okay, so first of all, if you'll hit the find all APIs, let me try to show you what all things we have. We have the 7 products. So copy one of them, go to the insert one, and save it. So this is the post API that we are going to hit, that we have developed. Go to the body, go to the raw, and here you have to select the JSON, and you have to provide the payload. Payload means the product details that you are going to insert. So let's say the ID is 8, and this time let's say the product name is what it should be. Let me try to check what all products we have, and then we can define it. So we have the study lamp and mobile charger, car, XYJ. Okay, so let me try to insert the laptop. So go to the insert, and let's say the product name is laptop. Price is let's say 70,000. Okay, so we are good. Now let me try to hit it, and here we go. We have inserted the product called laptop. If you'll go to the find all, and if you'll hit it again, you will find that we have, as of now, we have the 8 products inserted in our DB. Okay, that means we have successfully consumed the insert APIs as well. Now let me try to create the put and delete, and then try to show you. So go to the IntelliJ again, and how we have created this. So we'll try to copy paste the same thing and do the edits that we need. So this time it is a put mapping. So let me try to do put mapping, remove this additional mapping, and let's say we are going to update it. So the URL is update. We have to provide the ID of the product which we want to update. So we have to pass the request body as well as the path variable. In the path variable, we need to pass the product ID. Okay, so it is in teaser ID. Okay, so same product, we are first of all we are going to fetch it, and then we have to update it. Okay, that is what we are doing. So the URL is update, and then we are passing the ID as a path variable, and this is the request body. This is the payload that we are going to pass in order to update that product. Okay, so it will try to fetch out this product and then update it according to the payload that we are passing. So let me try to go to the method product service interface, create one method for the update. So let's say it is update, and we have to pass the product as well as the ID. So in teaser ID. Now if we'll go to implementation of it, we have to implement the unimplemented method, which is update method. Come here, go to the insert method, copy this whole thing, and then come here to the update method, paste it here. So we have this product reference, which is null, and we have the let me try to go to the retrofit API interface, and here we have to call the update API from the existing application. Okay, so this would be put, and what is the, let me try to import it first, and let me try to check the API for the put. So if we'll go there to the existing API, what it is update, and then we have to pass the ID. So go there, make it update, and then we have to pass the ID. So here let's say it is ID. In the body we have to pass the product, which product detail according to which the product existing product would be updated, and then we have to pass the ID as well as a path. So make sure this path is not path variable, it is at the rate path in the retrofit. So use that, and let me try to import it, and this time it is of integer ID. So we are good, and let's say it is update product. Okay, and this is a value update, and then we are updating it by ID. What is the issue here? So something is wrong. Let me try to go to the existing API, and let me try to check the update API first. So if we'll go to the product controller, and if we'll come here, so we are passing, yeah, it is update slash ID, and we are passing the request body, and we are passing the path variable, which is ID. So all look good. Let me try to go there to the API. Why we are getting this? Value missing through required. Okay, okay. So we have to provide the ID here. So make sure this ID is same so that it can map it, and then we have to provide the ID. Okay. So this is what we were making mistake here. So that is okay. So we have created this update product method, which is calling the third party API, which is update API, and we are passing the product by which the existing product will be updated, and this is the ID by which we are fetching the existing product. Okay, so copy this. Now if you'll go to where it is called, if you'll go to the implementation of this update method that we have created inside the product service, so here we need to call that update product method, and we have to pass the product reference as well as the ID. That's all. So what we are doing, we have created one product reference and assign null to it, and then using the retrofit API, we are calling the retrofit API, which is product API. We are passing the product and ID, and then we are executing it, getting the final response, and validating it, and then returning the response. Okay, so we are good now. If we'll go to the controller, and here we have to call the update, and we have to pass the product reference as well as the ID. So we are good now. Now let me try to make it up and try to hit this API. So if we'll go to this postman, and let me try to, first of all, let me try to save this and then try to duplicate it. So duplicate this, and let me try to create this as a update API. So this time it is put, and it is update slash we need to provide the ID. So let's say I just want to update the product ID 8. If we'll go to the body, let's say this time the price was 70,000. Let me try to make it 90,000. And let me try to check if the application is up and running. So our application is up and running, and the API is API retrofit slash update, and we have to pass the ID as a path variable. Okay, so go to the Postman. We have API retrofit update, and we just want to update the product 8. So we are updating that product 8, and here we have to provide the payload as well. So in the payload, we are just changing the price. Earlier it was 70,000. Now I'm just going to change it to the 90,000. So send it and then see. You can see the product is updated and the new price is 90,000. If you'll try to check it in the find all, earlier let's say it was 70,000, you can see. If we'll hit this API again, go down, you can see it become 90,000. So everything is working fine. We are able to integrate the update as well. So let me try to save it. Now we need to update integrate the delete API. So let me try to go to the IntelliJ, and again let me try to copy this whole thing, paste it here, and let's say this time it is delete. We have to pass the ID. Let me try to remove this request body, and here you can change the name. Earlier it was, let's say, update product. Here let's say it is delete product. We have to change it. Now if you'll go there to the product service, here we need to create one method for delete. So copy this, paste it here. Let's say the method name is delete, and we have to pass the ID by which it will try to fetch that product and delete it. So delete, we have to pass the ID here. Go to the implementation class of this, try to implement the delete method. So implement method, delete method will be implemented here. Again we have to do the same thing here. So copy this whole thing, paste it here. Before going to implement it, let me try, we need the delete method, right? So go to the retrofit API and create one method here for delete. So copy this whole thing, copy it, and this time let's say it is delete. Make sure it is coming from the retrofit, and the API we can check it. Let me try to, I think it is delete, and then we have to pass the ID. So if you'll go to the Postman here, and if you'll go to the delete one, you can see it is API products and then delete, and we have to pass the ID. So it is something similar to the update, only we have to change the APIs. Okay, so API product delete, and then we have to pass the ID. Now let me try to make it delete product. The method name is delete product. We don't have to pass the body here, so remove it. We have to pass the ID only. So we have created this, copy it, go to the implementation, call it here, and pass the ID. So we have created one product reference, assign null to it, calling the delete product method, which is further calling the third party delete API. Whatever response we are getting, we are assigning to the response, and then we are executing that response and getting the final response. We are validating the final response, and then we are finding out the body and assigning it to the reference that we have created above, and then returning it. Okay, now if you'll go to the product controller, and here you can change the method to delete and pass the ID. Now rerun this application and try to hit the API. So our application is up and running. Go to the Postman, and let me try to create one delete method inside this folder. So duplicate this, go there, and this time it is delete, and let's say we are going to delete the product 8 that we have added. Okay, so change the method type to delete, and just just hit enter. Okay, so here it is saying method not allowed. Let me try to check it. Go to the API integration. Okay, so here we are making one mistake. It is put mapping here. We need to change it to the delete mapping. Delete mapping. Now we have to run the application again, and yeah, our application is up. Go to the postman and try to hit this. So you can see this product is deleted. Now if we'll go to the find all API and try to hit it, and here we go. You can see we have only 7 products. So all the APIs are successfully integrated and all of them are working fine. So this is how you can integrate the third party APIs using Retrofit in a Spring Boot application. Okay, so if you like the video, please hit the like button, and if you need such content, then please subscribe the channel, and if your friend is in help, then please share the videos to them. So this is about the video, guys. Thanks. Please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Okay, thanks.